Hi, I'm Aditya Kuspati, a first year PhD student in the Paul G. Allen School of Computer Science and Engineering at the University of Washington. Today, I will be presenting soft threshold weight reparameterization for learnable sparsity. This is a joint work with Vivek Ramanujan, Raghav Somani, Mitchell Wartzman, Pratik Jain, Sham Kakade, and Ali Faradi. Deep neural networks have become highly accurate in solving a wide array of tasks. These models are super bulky with millions of parameters that require billions of floating point operations or flops for inference. This makes the real-world deployment hard on GPUs, let alone CPUs. Inducing sparsity in neural networks reduces model size and inference cost while maintaining accuracy. This has been very well studied. This can enable deployment of machine learning models even on CPUs and weak devices with single-core processors, which include futuristic smart glasses and current-day mobile devices. Most existing methods to induce sparsity focus on model size versus accuracy trade-off, with very little emphasis on inference flops. These methods include having uniform or heuristic sparsity budget across layers or one induced by global thresholding. Generally, every layer in a neural network is unique and not interchangeable, unlike neurons or weights. This makes layer-wise sparsity special. Let us look at a simple example with 3 layers which have similar flops but drastically different number of parameters. Initial layer, even though which has very small number of parameters, has to be applied to a larger input, thus requiring heavy compute. For example, we want to obtain a final sparse model with 220 parameters, which is 80% sparse. Last layer has 1000 parameters and can be easily pruned to 100 to reach the target sparsity. However, there is a very little reduction in flops from 250,000 to 205,000. Let us consider another scheme where we prune half of the first layer, 90% of the second layer, and 80% of the last layer. This still has 220 parameters but only has 70,000 flops. If we assume both these methods give similar accuracy, one would prefer the second method. As we just saw, there could be multiple non-uniform sparsity budgets across layers which have drastically different inference costs for a similar accuracy. It is also possible that a non-uniform budget might exist which has lesser inference costs than uniform budget with improving accuracy. This is very hard to search in deep neural networks. A few works proposed heuristics that increase flops, while some tried to use reinforcement learning, which is very expensive to train. So the question arises, can we design a robust, efficient method to learn non-uniform sparsity budget across layers? We propose soft threshold reparameterization, or STR, a novel application of soft threshold operator to enable end-to-end learnable sparsity. STR takes in weight tensors of each layer WL and reparameterizes them using a layer-wise scalar threshold alpha L. Since soft threshold is sub-differentiable, we can learn both weight tensors and layer-wise thresholds simultaneously using backpropagation and SGD. This in turn learns non-uniform sparsity budgets across layers which have better accuracy and lower flops for the same model size. STR doesn't directly optimize for minimization of flops, but still ends up with significant reduction in inference cost compared to baselines. STR is the state-of-the-art for pruning ResNet 50 and MobileNet V1 for ImageNet across all the sparsities. Especially, STR boosts accuracies by up to 10% in 98 to 99% ultra-sparse regime for ResNet 50. While vanilla STR focuses on layer-wise unstructured pruning, it can be trivially extended to support structured, global, and per-weight sparsities. Sparsity methods can be broadly divided into dense to sparse training, which is current state of the art, and sparse to sparse training, which is hard to train but has lower training costs. Sparse to sparse training typically uses non-uniform sparsity defined from heuristics like ERK and heuristic weight reallocation, which are used in methods like DSR, SNFS, and Wriggle. In dense to sparse, gradual magnitude pruning, or GMP, uses uniform sparsity and is state-of-the-art with very competitive inference flops. GMP can sometimes make some special portions of the networks like the first layer dense to improve accuracy. This comes at the cost of significant increase in flops. Non-uniform sparsity in dense to sparse training involves heuristics or global pruning, both of which increase flops compared to GMP with uniform sparsity. STR falls into the category of dense to sparse training with non-uniform sparsity budgets, which it learned. STR can also leverage some gains from sparse to sparse training. There also exist methods with hybrid training that include DNW and DPF, which leverage some portions from each of dense to sparse and sparse to sparse trainings. We compare against all these baselines. Let us look at the hard threshold and soft threshold operators. All the magnitude pruning methods use hard threshold, which zeroes out weights with magnitude less than a certain threshold. Hard threshold is discontinuous, and training with hard threshold could be abrupt. In contrast, soft threshold as seen here is continuous and subdifferentiable, which makes it backpropagation friendly. Soft threshold not only zeroes out the weights below a certain threshold, but also pulls down the magnitude of remaining weights by the same threshold. Training with soft threshold is more stable than its counterpart. We can rewrite soft threshold as follows and parameterize alpha as g of s to have more control during training. For a L-layer neural network, where WL as the weight tensor for layer L and scalar g of SL as its threshold, we can write STR as shown here. The reparameterization uses signed bit mask of the weight tensor and applies ReLU on the shifted magnitude of each weight. We simply consider these reparameterized weights as the new weights of the network. We do regular training with reparameterized weights and nothing special. We use the same weight decay parameter for W and S. Weight decay controls the overall sparsity. We also initialize S such that G of S is very close to 0. This initialization gives finer control over sparsity and also dense training duration. For the function G, we choose sigmoid for unstructured sparsity and exponential for structured sparsity. A detailed discussion about the choice of G can be found in the paper. Let us look at the outcomes of STR training. On the top is the plot of overall sparsity versus epochs for 90% sparse ResNet 50 on ImageNet. It starts off with dense training for a while, followed by gradual induction of sparsity, which is very stable compared to periodic hard threshold based pruning. This learned curve is very similar to state-of-the-art handcrafted heuristic of GMP using hard threshold. On the bottom, we show the learned layer-wise sparsities for the same model. They are very diverse with sparser middle layers and denser layers on the extremes, showing that STR learns a non-uniform sparsity budget. We have done extensive experimentation for unstructured sparsity in CNNs with ImageNet using ResNet 50 and MobileNet V1 for a large sparsity range. We also experimented with more models on CIFAR 10, CIFAR 100 and Tiny ImageNet but haven't reported them in the paper. We extended STR to induce structured sparsity or low rank in FastGRNN on keyword spotting and activity recognition datasets. Additionally, we also showed that the learned budgets can be easily transferred to other methods, and STR can be extended to global sparsity, mask learning, and filter pruning. In this talk, we only expand on unstructured sparsity experiments in CNNs and urge the audience to check out the paper for the rest. A brief refresher on unstructured and structured sparsity. Unstructured sparsity is presence of zeros in seemingly random locations and is typically induced by magnitude-based pruning, such as global or layer-wise thresholds. Structured sparsity, on the other hand, includes methods like low rank and neuron or filter pruning, where the sparsity is structured and can be leveraged during the compute parallelization. These plots show the trade-off between accuracy versus sparsity and accuracy versus flops for unstructured sparsity in ResNet 50 on ImageNet using STR and other baselines. STR requires up to 20% lesser flops than the baselines while having similar or better accuracies for 80 to 95% sparsity regime. STR can be up to 10% more accurate than the baselines in 98 to 99% ultra-sparse regime. STR forms a frontier curve for both these plots, showing STR is the state of the art for unstructured pruning in CNNs. We observe very similar trends in MobileNet V1. STR maintains the accuracy for 75% sparsity with 62 million lesser flops. STR also has 50% lower inference cost for 90% sparsity. Here we discuss the insights from sparsity budgets. On the top is the layer-wise sparsity budgets, while on the bottom we have layer-wise flops budgets for 90% sparse ResNet 50 on ImageNet. GMP with uniform sparsity is a very competitive baseline, which is only 1% lower in accuracy compared to STR in 80 to 95% sparsity regime, but has the lowest inference cost among the baselines. STR still manages to have 16% lesser flops than GMP due to the learned non-uniform budget. Please note that we have removed the other baselines to make the plots look clean, but have included the baselines. STR learns sparser initial layers than the other non-uniform sparsity baselines, which is contradictory to the traditional vision knowledge. STR balances the parameter counts by making the last layers denser, which contribute little to flops. STR has much sparser middle layers even when compared to uniform sparsity. All these three phenomena combined help STR produce sparser backbones for transfer learning. STR slithers around below uniform sparsity for most of the time, adjusting its per layer flops to reduce overall inference cost. Again, similar observations as earlier hold for 90% sparse MobileNet V1 on ImageNet. An interesting thing to notice here is that STR automatically keeps depth-wise separable convolution filters denser than the normal ones to maximize the accuracy. This also results in 50% lesser flops than GMP. This is the code snippet for PyTorch STR-Con, which enables convolutions with soft threshold reparameterization. Look how simple it is. As mentioned earlier, STR can be adapted to structured sparsity, global sparsity, and per weight sparsity. Here we show a simple workflow to adapt it for low rank. For a given tensor W, let us parameterize it with two full rank tensors, W1 and W2, along with a diagonal matrix sigma to represent rank importance scores in the middle. W is obtained by multiplying W1, sigma, and W2. Now to induce low rank, train with STR applied on sigma. In the end, this results in two low rank tensors W1 tilde and W2 tilde, which can be used for inference. A similar workflow can result in filter pruning. More details and experiments about this and other adaptations can be found in the paper. There are certain critical design choices for STR that includes the weight decay, initialization of S, and the choice of G. Larger weight decay can result in higher sparsity, but at the cost of some instability in training. Better functions could be chosen as G, which can consistently revive dead weights. Please refer to the paper for a more detailed discussion on all these choices. In conclusion, STR enables end-to-end training to obtain sparse and accurate models with no additional training cost. STR learns layer-wise sparsity budgets that reduce flops by up to 50% for 80 to 95% sparsity and create models that are up to 10% more accurate than the baselines for ultra-sparse regime in ResNet 50. These learned baselines are also transferable to other sparsification methods. STR benefits from reduction in flops by happenstance, but a concrete formulation to explicitly minimize inference cost along with stronger guarantees in the standard sparse regression setting could be interesting future directions. Code, pre-trained models, and sparsity budgets can be found at github.com/ravenlab/str. Thank you.